still keep going.
Yeah,
I don't know if I am. I don't know if I am. Something's on. I'm sitting here and talk to myself for hours on end. But then when we try to have a conversation, it's like hours on end. What are we talking about now? But then when we try to have a conversation, it's you guys ever experienced that? What are we talking about now? Or whatever. You guys ever experienced that with your partners or your friends or whatever? I mean, I have this all written out and pre-planned in a sense. It's not really a very flowing conversation until you get. I have this all written out and pre-planned in a sense. It's not really a very flowing conversation until you get into it. And again, I'm talking to myself mostly, so. So today is Work It Out Wednesday, and we're going to build from this week on calendar. Google. So today is Work It Out Wednesday, and we're going to build from this week on calendar. Google as well as Canva for the PDFs. And I did go ahead and transfer. I don't know if I ended up deleting that last one. Alright, so morning routine, weather, and OOTD. Today's OOTD. I've already shown this. Alright, so morning routine, weather, and OOTD. Today's OOTD. I've already shown this. We do need to build out the next 5 to 6 months going into January of. We do need to build out the next 5 to 6 months going into January of wardrobe. So next 6 months. It's a baseline, and accessories are adjustable for the previous week. So it's a baseline, and accessories are adjustable for the previous week. So for those of you who are content creators, utilizing a color wheel or a generator wheel of some kind, watching trends will always assist you in change. Future plans and things that are interconnected or asking around, just watching trends, watching history, watching future plans for things that are interconnected or images or industries and stuff like that. What's popular, trending, and then, like I said, as far as leave my history link, because like local knowledge is trending things first. What's popular, trending on certain sites. That's why I always leave my history blank, because it'll automatically pull the most trending things first. If I do have instead of what I'm searching for, so I don't even enter an algorithm into even if it's my seller site for eBay. Same thing. I try to erase my. If I do have any kind of a search history, I try to erase it because I want purchasing sites feeding me the newest information. Same thing with the search history blank, or if you delete your search history, like go back to the main purchasing sites, it's going to bring you all the new trends. So as a buyer, it might actually keep you stuck by having an algorithm, because now your history and go back to the main, whatever shit, it's going to bring you all the new trends. So it might actually keep you stuck by having an algorithm, because now you're only filtered down to whatever it was that you were previously looking at. I always suggest it doesn't really give you much of an option to look elsewhere. So, or it doesn't pull the information that you're in the search for that's a little bit new. I always suggest, if you are going to have a search engine, have this year's date, like this year, in the search. Or like the word trend, or the word viral, or the word something newer, new. So this way, it pulls up things that are at the top of the list. Something newer, mixed into these little root bases in this algorithm, separation. So this way, it pulls up things that are like at the top of the list, rather than mixed into these little root bases in this algorithm, separation. 6 months worth of seasonal build out trends. We'll be using the generator. I'm going to be using fringe Pantone colors this year. My color of the year, which seasonal colors, seasonal trends. Because I did call the fringe and chain trend this year. Certain types of materials actually blew up a lot more styles. Because I'm previously, because and certain types of materials, colors, styles that not previously used, because I was actually considering recycled or upcycled. Upcycling takes considering effort, since my personal eBay items were not selling as well. So if I was actually considering A, going in bulk, but B, going in upcycling. Upcycling takes more time, effort, and the price is going sources. So if I get where I have to upcycle items, nothing. The price is going up. Like I said, so is that you always want to keep recycling energy. So say if you donate something, and like I said yesterday, trade-off is that you always want to keep recycling energy put into something. Energy. So say if you donate something, you want to have even if it's not a trade-off in the items. If you have energy put into something, you want to make sure that your time is paid for. So time, even if it's not financial, maybe it could be items different materially, but you guys can work together in some ways where it could be time. Maybe you have a business, another business. Thing is it's completely different than you. So, but you guys can work together in some way in the midst where you guys can help each other first. But another thing is self. So when you are, the energy transfer has to be in the midst of all even this. Always remember one of the main reasons why everybody always feels burnt out is because you're not getting anything out of whatever the energy that you're putting out. But the energy transfer has to be, you're not getting that evened out. You're not getting any. One of the main reasons why everybody always feels burnt out is because you're not getting anything out of whatever the energy that you're putting out into the universe. But you're not getting that kickback. You're not getting anything for what you're giving. And don't get me wrong, it's always great to give energy, personal life, business, other people. But you only have so much to give, and that's why I say it's all going to get a priority, no matter if it's personal life, business. When you're, other people thinking financially, or think of other projects and something. Think of energy. It's all going to get affected by that. And like I said, resources. When you're money, thinking financially, and think of time as money, think of energy that are going to have to help you somewhere in this. And like I said, resources, that's another form of money. You don't have far up. Is that your fourth option? And you're going to have outside people that are going to have to help you somewhere in this. So that's more money, right? And you don't even know how far up because that's your fourth option. Remember, I said your brain can think about three things at the same time. Make sure that you keep recycling, or like options at the same time, which whether fourth starts to get trade off or self-care. So when you sell something, you get money. Just be aware of that, but make sure that you keep recycling that energy. Always make it equal. Whether like if you have to give time to somebody else, when you want them to give you time back from it, or if you're able to trade an item, fair is fair, right? But always make it equal. So like if you have to give time to somebody else, and it'll you want them to give you time. Now, mind you, they may not person. What's fair is fair, right? Or that entity, or that and so and it'll help each other out. Now, mind you, they may not person we're gonna business or that entity or that whatever may not be able to give you energy directly, but they may be able to get you the door to the next bit. And that's even in energy. That's even better than what interaction you were gonna trade. You never know. There's always that chance for an upgrade. Okay, so and that's even in energy. That's even in take that leap of faith and just interactions. Your future. You never know the doors that'll open. Not knowing what's going to take the first step. It's okay. So the whole point in nothing is to create from. So don't take that leap of faith and go into your future. Yeah, be afraid of what's in the dark, not knowing what's going to happen. Don't be afraid of the dark. Okay. The whole point in nothing is to create from. So don't be afraid of the dark. Don't be afraid of what's in the dark. But you guys have seen me do it. Don't be afraid of the dark.
You guys, the dark gives you opportunities to bring. I went head first into that. So, and y'all get to see. Don't be afraid to jump into things and not know. You guys have seen me do it a million times. You guys saw me do it with eBay. I mean, I went head first business with no knowledge. That's what we do. And y'all get to see me over the past 6 months experience firsthand what it's like coming from nothing and trying to build a business with no knowledge. Because that's what we do. We always jump into shit and read the instructions. Yeah. So don't be afraid of your ideas, your thoughts. You always pull it back out of the trash. Concepts of things. Even if they don't, other people don't understand you. But yeah. So don't be afraid of your ideas, your thoughts. You'll be able to find those missing concepts of things. No matter what industry. Even if they don't, even if other people don't agree with you, understand you. It's pretty much universal, and the reason why. And you'll be able to find those missing steps to wherever you're going, no matter what industry or whatever process you're using this for. Thought process. It's pretty much universal, and the reason why I did this is because of the fact that you have to start thinking in business. You have to think past and beyond your normal everyday thought processes. Pretty much any aspect. And if I'm wrong, correct me. In life, but. As well as in business. And if I am wrong, let's find out why and what we can do to fix it. So, I mean, pretty much for the most part, I mean, I've been working. If I'm wrong, correct me, naturally. But 3 to 5 years. And if I am wrong, let's find out why and what we can do to fix it. Because for the most part, I mean, I've been working the past 3 years on this. This isn't me just free to my mouth. This is from personal experience. I didn't actually start from other people's experience. As well as the ongoing knowledge and continued knowledge that is needed. This isn't me just running my mouth. So, this is from personal experience, from other people's experiences, as well as the ongoing knowledge and continued knowledge. It's okay if you can't keep not just from me, but for y'all. So, it's just the way hopefully this helps somebody somewhere. And it's okay if you don't understand what I'm saying. It's okay if you can't keep up with some of the words that I'm talking about, especially when I get into a flow. It's just the way that I just talking about whatever. So, and then all of a sudden, if I jump conversations, you're literally in real time watching everything. Especially when I get into a flow state and I just am talking. I want you guys to see the whatever, and then all of a sudden, what it takes, and I can't remember it's not easy. That's real time. That's why I asked you guys to get it keep the timing on it. It's very hard to keep. So I want you guys to see the everyday and see the what it takes. Just it's not easy. Some sort of doing one thing, and even if you do get it easily, whatever, it's very hard to keep. And so just doing that. And keeping just a simple everyday schedule for yourself, just a routine of some sort of doing one thing every day. To have that one thing, whatever, every day, and compiled with now just doing that and keeping that pace alone may not be able to remember all those in itself. Some people can. So to have that one thing that you do every day compiled with now 800,000 other things that you're doing every day. Your mind may not be able to remember all of this. Some people can. Jeff has like people tell me shit from like 6 months ago that I said something to me. And I can't argue it. And my kids always use this against me. They know that I can't remember shit. So they use it against me. People tell me shit from like 6 months ago that I said, and I'm just like, wait, what? To argue it. And I can't argue it. And my kids always use this against me. And they know that I can't remember shit. So they use it against me because I can't remember it. To argue it. We have a brighter day today. Anyway. Yeah, y'all continue to pray for your kids and me, and and whatever you believe. We have a brighter day today. Just send me positive vibes, but there's still storm clouds ahead. So, continue. And whatever you believe in, whatever you believe in. Just send me positive vibes. You know?
Okay, baby.
Good juju. So,
we did talk about how to create links to your own products and possibly also use affiliate links. So tricky way of doing this. We did talk about how to create links to your own products
legal, I'm not sure yet.
and
If it is, please let me
possibly also use affiliate links. So
you're a seller.
tricky way of doing this.
Don't know how it'll
One
work.
account.
Just
Separate
follow.
account.
Possibly legal,
buyer,
I'm not sure yet. If it is, please let me know.
The buyer becomes the affiliate.
You're a seller on a site.
Hear me out.
One account.
On a separate account,
Link.
you are a
That,
buyer, right? The buyer becomes the
use
affiliate.
as an affiliate, as a seller, link it directly to your product. The link that you will receive purchase price plus
You use
commission. As an affiliate, as a seller, link it directly to your product.
concept. Okay.
Possibly
You will
not receive purchase price. I have not tried this. I literally just plus affiliate commission. To kind of give a pinch back to yourself, right? You can utilize that in business terms.
Possibly
not
capable of happening.
numbers. I have not tried this. I literally just
negative.
so
I want you to keep that mindset.
to kind of give a pinch back to
Working
yourself.
from zero or
right?
negative.
Building you can utilize that in the business terms. Remember, we're recycling numbers because we're no matter how successful, no matter how well you are.
And I want you to keep that mindset.
Either working from zero or negative,
or
we're building from that always.
The reason
for every single day,
grounds you
portion of every day, and gives you
so much
no
more
matter how
opportunity
successful,
to be
no
able
matter
to
how
move
wealthy you are. I want you to remember either zero
humbling
or
yourself
negative
is
the reason for that. It grounds you
and
and gives you
your alter ego.
so much more of
That
an
enables your
opportunity
power
to be able to maneuver
stand
going
strong
forward. In its
Authenticity.
you have no choice.
Humbling
to take
yourself
over that power.
is
your own power. A power
So,
move. Okay?
when you
Kill your alter ego,
use it in
that
a way
enables your
that's beneficial
power
for not
to
just
stand
you,
strong
but to others
in
also.
its
The reason why I
authenticity.
say that, the more
You have
that
no
bless
choice
others,
but to
the
take
more
over
you
that
will
power.
bless.
It is
And
your
it's
own
not
power.
in a term of
So
greed. It's in a term
when you
of,
have that,
okay,
now I can
use it in a way that is beneficial
right?
for not just you,
I can keep
but to
going.
others also.
I don't have to stay.
The
in
reason
this
why I say
generation.
that,
I
the
can
more
do
that you bless
generations.
others,
I can
the more you will be
legacy.
blessed.
And
And
it's
it's
not
not
in
in
a
a
term
term
of
of
greed.
Keep
It's in a
going
term
and
of
use that
okay,
fuel
now I can bless more.
to fuel
Right?
the fire that you have
I can
within
keep
yourself.
going. I don't have to stay in this
Continue moving
generation.
forward.
I can go
Every
generations. I can make
no matter what you're
legacy.
doing.
I can build
Okay.
an entire freaking empire.
It doesn't have to be specifically affiliates.
Keep
money
going
wise,
and
it can be
use
anything.
that
It could be emotionally.
fuel
It could be
to
you know,
fuel the fire that
any
you have
aspect
within
of it.
yourself to continue moving forward every single day.
And like I said, think
no matter what you're doing.
Think beyond what your normal thought process.
It doesn't have to be specifically
Of
affiliates,
whatever
money
topic it is
wise.
that
It could
you're
be anything. It could be emotionally.
So
It could be, you know,
that's
any
the only
aspect
way you're gonna get
of
next level.
So,
Legit. That's the only way.
and like I said, think
You
you
have
have
to
seller.
raise your
Think
own vibration.
beyond what your normal thought processes
So,
are. Of whatever topic
In
it
order
is
to
that
do
you're
that and to
thinking
get
about right
yourself
now.
out there,
So
if that's what you're wanting to do,
that's the only
or
way you're gonna get next
be
level.
bring more of
Legit.
your
Like,
inner
that's
child
the only
out,
way.
or bring more.
You
of
have to raise your own
self-worth,
vibration and
more
frequency.
authenticity.
So,
Which is very hard to
in
do
order to do that and to
know
get yourself
if you're
out
not
there,
aware of yourself.
if that's what you're wanting to
If
do,
you've been
or
told
bring more of
your
your
life,
inner child
right?
out, or bring more of
You
your
don't
true
have
self
independent
out, more of
thoughts.
your authenticity out.
You just have the knowledge,
which is very hard to do
and
if
that's
you don't
it.
even know,
You
if
think
you're not
inside the
aware of
box, you
yourself.
stay inside the little box, and that's where
If
your
you've
safe zone
been
is. And go outside that
told
safe zone,
and listened
because it's
your
all
whole
you
life,
ever know.
right?
And how dare I?
You
go
don't
against my
have
thought
independent
process that I've
thoughts.
already pre-built in my mind.
You just have the knowledge,
It's contradictory.
and that's
Why would I
it.
do that?
You don't think
Why would I
outside the
change?
box. You stay inside the little box, and that's where your safe zone is. And you don't want to go outside that safe
How
zone
dare I?
because
Right?
it's all you've ever known.
But when you do,
and how dare I go
like I
against
said,
any thought
previous
process
streams,
that I've
you have
already
different
pre-built in my mind.
sparks
right?
that go off in different parts
It's
of your brain,
contradictory.
and your brain.
Why would I do that?
believes
Why would I change?
That's why you get the 3-second scroll rule.
Okay.
Have
Have a thought
it's just
outside
a
the
constant
box.
feed.
How dare I?
When I said
Right?
yesterday that when you're getting this,
But when you do,
there is none
like
of
I
this
said
going on
in
from
previous
you.
streams, you have
Your
different
own
sparks that go
energy.
off in
You're
different parts of your
getting
brain, and your brain
So it's
craves that.
And
That's
we're
why you get the
constantly
3-second
surrounded
scroll.
by
Okay.
fields of energy.
It's just a
of
constant
some sort.
right?
We have our own
That we give off.
but when you're
When
it's
I
a
said
different
yesterday
wavelength,
that
and
when
it's a
you're
different
getting
frequency
this
than
way,
all the
there
electronics
is none of this
around
going on
us.
from you. You're
That's
all
a lot of
own
times the reason why
energy.
people
You're
have
getting
difficulty
that.
thinking
See what I'm saying?
when there's
And we're
bright
constantly
lights or when
surrounded
there's
by
a lot of electronics around.
fields of energy
Because you don't even
of
have
some
your own
sort,
wavelengths.
right?
at that
We
point,
have our
right? So you
own
have to
that we give
self-isolate.
off, but it's a different wavelength and it's a different frequency than all the electronics and stuff that
Your
we
brain
have
needs
around
time
us.
to rest, right? You
That's a
can't
lot of
do that.
times the reason why people have
Because everything's
difficulty
3 seconds.
thinking when there's bright lights or when there's a lot of electronics around.
So,
Because you don't even have your
That
own
addiction
wavelengths
and push
at
your
that
face
point,
on it,
right? So
right?
you have to self-isolate. Turn off the
So-
TV, turn off the computer, turn off the lights, take
delete
everything
the
down.
internet.
Your brain needs time to rest, right? But you can't go that long because
your-
everything's 3
your
seconds.
information and your vibe and your light and your
It's an
energy
addiction. You get stuck
when
in it.
you are fully rested and capable of doing so.
So,
What better way to feed that addiction than to push your face
So-
on it, right?
so
And sometimes you're
bully
gonna
the
have
internet,
missing
bully the
information.
algorithm.
You're gonna have things that
Um,
are, like I said, you're completely
with
wrong
your
yourself.
your information
And your
vibe
brain
and your
is
light
gonna
and
be
your
in
energy
confusion mode.
when you
Wait a
are
minute.
fully rested.
Hold
and
on.
capable of doing so.
Two molecules just recognize
so.
itself. So now one of those
So-
has gotta go. So now you're forced with a choice. At that
And
point,
sometimes you're going to have missing information. You're
Blessed
going to have
right
things that
to
are,
make that
like I said,
choice,
you completely
right?
contradict yourself.
and your brain is going to be in confusion.
Your brain's already
mode
done it.
of, wait a minute. You
Hold
start
on.
learning new pathways. Two molecules just recognize self.
You know what I'm saying?
So now
That
one of those has
spark
got to
of
go.
new
inspiration.
So now you're
Always
forced with a
is the
choice.
beginning point of
At
your
that
choice.
point, that's your blessed right to
So
make
that
that
way you
choice,
can
right?
evolve.
Your brain's already done it by that point.
Our DNA
You start learning new
requires-
pathways.
It is a mandatory.
See what I'm saying? Like that spark
for
of new
evolution,
inspiration
for survival
always is the
of
beginning
DNA.
point of your choice.
Okay.
So that way you can evolve.
Other than
Our
actually
DNA
changing
requires it is a mandatory
the closest thing that you can do
for
is
evolution,
start your
for
thoughts.
survival
Right.
of the DNA.
It's the first
itself.
part of your change. It's the first part of
Okay.
your evolution.
So
Whatever you were doing before, yeah, it was all fine and good, but now you gotta find new ways. And
other than actually
finding those
changing
new
that
missing
molecules,
information, steps,
the closest thing that you can do
guide
is
new
start your
followers
thoughts.
right? You know,
That's the first part of
wherever
your change.
direction
That's
and
the
light
first
that
part of your
you're
evolution.
right? Because they're gonna come to you.
So,
like moms, man.
whatever
They're
you were
gonna be
doing
like, out of
before,
nowhere, yeah, it was all fine and good, but now you gotta find new ways.
in your face.
And
Finding
these
those
situations, these
information,
thoughts,
the
these
next steps,
emotions,
how to guide
industry
followers
changes,
to,
the evolution with
you know,
people, or
whatever
society.
direction
So
and light that you're
it's
bringing.
gonna be
right? Because they're gonna come to you like moms, man. They're gonna be like out of
But
nowhere
at the same time,
and
you will get some
in your
kind
face.
of
Like these situations, these thoughts, these
event
emotions,
happen where
the industry
as
changes,
a society,
the
you kind of
evolution
all
with the
recognize
people
or
or the
society
moment
itself.
itself change.
It's gonna be
It's like you smell it in the wind.
sudden. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, you will get some kind of
It's like a DNA
awakening
awakening in a sense.
event
So,
happen
All
where,
of our ancestors,
as a
at one
society, we
point in
kind of
time,
all recognize
experienced
in a
similar
moment that
things.
there's change.
So
It's like you smell it in
you
the
know,
wind.
and
You know what I
the
mean?
ultimate one
Um,
is, the end of life. So
It's like a DNA
survival
awakening in a
in our
sense.
DNA, in our subconscious.
So
we already
all of
have
our ancestors at one
embedded
point in
us.
time
It's
all experienced
it's already
similar
ours.
things.
all
so,
the knowledge that our ancestors had,
You know,
every
and the
single
one
part of
ultimate
the
one
bloodline
was,
previous to
you know, the end of life.
including
So,
external experiences
in our
whatever they
survival
experienced
skills,
in
in
their
our
life,
DNA, in our
you have knowledge.
subconscious, we already have those skills embedded in us. It's already ours. all the knowledge
those
that our
moments
ancestors
happen,
had, every single part of the
instinctively
bloodline previous to
feel
you,
you may not be aware
including
of it because your
external
conscious
experiences,
mind is
okay,
paying
whatever they
attention to everything else
experienced
out
in their
here,
life,
right? Or maybe
you
what
have
my
knowledge
thoughts are
of.
up here, but it may not be recognizing that communication between
The
subconscious mind and conscious
when
mind.
those moments happen,
So,
you'll
because your body
instinctively
recognizes
feel it.
change.
You may not be aware of it because your conscious
Your
mind
frequency
is paying attention to everything else out here, right? Or maybe
So-
what my thoughts are up here.
But it
As
may
a
not be
collective
recognizing that communication between subconscious
evolutions
mind and
generations.
So,
Because your body
it's
recognizes
kind of
that
like an
change. It
electrical
recognizes
current
it
in the
just
air
kind of hits
hits
everybody.
your frequencies all
And
kind
we
of
don't
hit at the same
recognize
point.
it.
So,
As a
but
collective,
we do
on this
later,
planet,
like months later,
for evolutions and generations,
we start
you
to
know,
see patterns, and then we start.
it's kind of
communicating
like an
with each other
electrical current that
verbally
just kind of hits everybody at
or
the same time.
later.
And we don't recognize
But
it. So,
but we start
but we
communicating with each
do
other,
later,
bringing these out
like
into
months
the
later.
3D. Because
Um,
thought, 5D, the ethers,
we start to
doesn't
see
exist yet.
patterns, and then we
Thought,
start
it's all in
communicating
here.
with each other
You are
verbally,
the portal brings
usually,
it to the reality.
or through
So when you speak things,
but
or you do things, right?
But
you
we start communicating
create
with
that
each other,
reality.
bringing these out
And
into
when
the
more
3D,
than one
because the
person
thought
recognizes
5D, the
that there's
ethers,
change,
doesn't exist yet. It's a thought.
you'll
It's
start
all
to
in
see
here.
this shift.
You
of
are the portal that brings it
behavioral
to the
pattern
reality.
change
So
in
when you
society.
speak things,
And it'll be a slow
or
trickle
you
at
do
first,
things, because
right?
like a
You
virus, needs
create
time to
that
spread,
reality.
thought process.
And when
needs time to
more
spread.
than one
Each
person
one of
recognizes that there is a change,
portals that spread the
you'll start to see this shift
of
of
spread whatever
behavioral pattern change
is going to say
in society. And it'll be a slow trickle at first.
because like a virus, it needs time to spread.
So you're going
Thought
to get
process needs time to spread.
each
You're just
one
going
of
to get
those
it in a lot of different ways.
portals that
and you're the
spread
one
the
that has to pick and
information or
choose and
spread the
decipher
thought
from
or
all
spread
of these
whatever
little bits of code
is going to say it
what
differently.
the actual code is and what the actual
Because
message
that's
is.
about that's why.
So you're going to get
because
information.
no two.
You're just going to
persons
get
message
it in
is
a
the same.
lot of different ways, and you're the one that
mission
has to pick and
in
choose
this
and
life
decipher
is
from all
different
of
than
those
anybody
little bits of
else's.
code what
Your
the actual
path
code
is
is,
different. Even though it may
and
be
what
similar,
the actual message is.
y'all might be twinning. Most of the
That's
race.
why it's baffled. Once you get to the
Because
finish line,
no
it's a
two
completely different story.
persons' message is the same.
So your mission in this life is different than anybody else's. Your path is different. Even though it may be similar, y'all might be twinning.
Use that as your
Most of the race.
Use
Once
that
you
as
get to
a
the finish
way
line, it's a completely
to
different story.
help you
So
build on what was, is, and what you want it to be. So use that as your use that as a way to help you build on what was, is, and what you want it to as far as getting out there and being comprehensible to others. You have to try and keep it as neutral as possible. It's hard. So, as far as getting out there, especially
and,
like I always say,
being
everything
comprehensible.
I actually really needed to title this trigger warning. You have to try and keep
Um,
it as neutral as
just
possible.
because.
But it's hard.
And
Especially like I
put it in
always say,
multiple
trigger warning
languages.
for everything. I actually really need
give
to
it the
title
option
this trigger warning.
just
Communication
because.
across
but
different types of platforms as far as like accessibility.
If you have to, put it in multiple languages.
Don't forget to click your
Give it the option for communication
hearing impaired or
across different types of platforms as far as like
try to keep
accessibility.
idea
Don't forget to click that.
kind
Don't forget
of
to click your
tag
these
people
particular
that
lines.
or
Don't
for
forget
this hearing impaired or
to see
visually
what you're
impaired
doing, to
maybe
get
get sponsorship.
sponsorship.
Try to keep
a broader idea when you're putting
You know,
if you're
kind of
wanting to build
tag people that
trying to
or companies
first
that
hand,
you want to see what you're doing, to maybe get sponsorship.
dive deep into this. Head first and possibly all the wrong
You
ways.
know, if you're
but
wanting
we're
to
gonna get all this
build
information.
something as far as
And
business
we're
wise, like I said, we'll take a
trying to
look
get
at the information
because this is what I am
firsthand. I mean,
so
from
we're
scratch,
with
so we can fully dive
and you
deep
are
into
having
this.
and
I mean, head first
with
and
possibly
in
all
real
the wrong
time.
ways.
But we're gonna get all this information, and we're gonna learn from it together.
So when something of mine
because this is what
fails,
I am
you can
personally
see
building,
why
so you are building along with
or
me,
what I should have
and you
done
are having
differently
pitfalls with me,
and
in real time.
I only give
Um,
these things a small amount of time of my
And
so
when something of
so
mine fails,
it's not
you can see why it
entirely
failed,
encompassing
or what I should have done.
you know, I'm not
going to go $100,000
and
into a company.
I only give
already have
these things a small amount of time of my
I do. That's
so
a huge risk.
it's not
But that's business.
entirely encompassing.
If I did, that'd be totally fine.
I
I'm not going to
could
go
win in
$100,000 in debt into a company
But
that I don't already have
I'm
5 years
taking
experience in.
And
I mean, if I do, that's a huge risk. But that's
then
business. If I did, that'd be totally fine. I possibly could win in that event. Who knows? But I'm personally taking those baby steps and trying to get to my next step. If I do get assistance along the way, then that'd be beneficial towards what my next step is.
I am literally
And
building this
this
pathway
would be like
myself
a little building
from
blocks,
scratch.
continuing
And
forward on this path.
you know, Jeff says to me all the time, he's like, I listen to you.
And it is a long road because
I don't understand.
so
I've spent 3 years. I am literally building this
It's
pathway
like-
myself from scratch, and you know, Jeff says to me all the time, he's like, I listen to you stream and yourself. He's like, you
know,
sound so professional. I'm like, I don't understand. I've spent 3 years of the entirety of my life
this like
all day every day, other than like woodworking and not
so
really doing good at that either. So you know, sometimes you don't get the option but to build from scratch.
it's too obsessed.
Sometimes you have to dig yourself out of your own
But yeah.
So
Before you can even take the first step in it.
you know, sometimes you don't get the option
And
but
any
to
little
build from scratch.
of information you can get.
Sometimes you have to dig yourself out of your own emotional hell.
Because I've been before you
I've
can
been
even take
there,
the first step in it.
and
And any little bit of information,
trauma in the past, or
ancestors at this point.
you know what I mean?
Because I've been there, rotting away in my bed every day, crying.
And you just gotta get it all out.
Just to
You gotta
cry.
talk about it.
You gotta tell people about the shit that's
Trauma in
happening.
the past, or
Just get it out. I needed to cry for my ancestors at this point. You
you
know what I
feel
mean?
such a huge weight.
Or for the people who are with us who are, finally starting.
And you just gotta get it all out.
Yeah,
And it's
about it.
hard because it kind of smacks you in the face every once in a while.
Just get it out.
You know what I mean?
You will
And
feel such a huge weight.
It's hard to get past
once
it.
you are able to
Especially if
start
you have
getting all these things out of
stress.
And it's hard because it kind of smacks you in the face every
That
once in a while.
was compounded together. You know what I mean? And
Back to back.
it's hard to get past it.
Mostly everybody.
You know, especially if you have
If you're
compound
5 years old,
stress, you know, in the past
or
5
you
to
have
10 years.
trauma,
You know exactly what I'm talking
that
about.
was compounded
Everybody
together.
is. It's a collective of all experiences.
Back to back in life. Which
Mostly
and I
everybody
wanna
keep,
that
if you're
going.
5 years old or young, you know, in the
We
past
went
5 to
through
10
a
years,
pandemic
you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody
Yes, we were
is a
all
collective
isolated
of
and
all
separated.
experiences.
These things together.
But the world went through a
And I
pandemic
want to keep
in
that
our
point
life
of understanding
understanding
unity.
together.
We went through a pandemic together.
If that's not unity, I know
Yes,
it
we
was
were
a
all
horrible
isolated and
thing,
separated. But the world went through
but
a
it was the one
pandemic
time that we all
in our
experienced the same thing at
lifetime
the same time.
together.
And it was a reset.
If that's not unity, I know
We're
it was a
all
horrible
in
thing.
And if you don't,
But it was the
feel
one
that
time that we
unity
all
in this
experienced the
world,
same thing at the same time.
and it was a reset.
I
I hope that you raise your vibration. We're all on even ground now. And because if you don't feel that as unity in this world, we needed to be. I hope that you raise your yourself in one thing at one point, because so we can have a solid foundation. It's going to be needed going forward as a society. As we needed to be united in one thing. And sometimes, you have to wipe so we can slate clean. Foundation. Sometimes people won't make it to the next level. As a society, as human beings. Sometimes, you have to wipe the slate clean. Sometimes people won't make it to the next level. People who thought would be so supportive end up being the worst enemy. I only wish they could stay in this. This world's a crazy. Sometimes people who you thought would be so supportive of you end up being the worst enemy. This world's a crazy, crazy place. Human experience is absolutely like if I could leave a review to being a human, like do we need to do that? Can I leave a review, God, of this experience? Human experience is absolutely like if I could leave a review for being a human, like do we get to do that? Can I leave a review, God, of this experience? You're fired. Anyway. There's so many like controversial conversations that can be branched off of that right now. I don't even know. Like entire seasons, okay, of streaming. There's so many like controversial conversations. Which I think would be amazing. Branched off of that right now. Like entire seasons, okay, of streaming at this point. Which I think would be amazing, by the way. Thanks, babe. I appreciate that. It's your fault. So yeah, just keep going. Thanks, babe. I appreciate that. It's your fault. Back to us. Heads up for those of you who are on just Amazon or are buyer. What sites are missing information? July is Prime Day. Heads up for those of you who are on Amazon affiliates. Or are buyer happy. You need to start posting. July. Put links out there. Is Prime Day with that picture on it. Prime days. Whatever. Affiliates. So that's a heads up. Like I said, guys, you need to start posting as much as possible. Same time. Put links out there with that picture on it. Okay, or yours, whatever. Either way, just don't. So if you, like I said earlier about being a seller and being a buyer at the same time, or affiliate at the same time, and having those two cycle back. I don't know if that's creating product and affiliate links. Back just don't do anything. Remember taxes. So what was it? Transfers of creating product and affiliate links back to yourself, business wise, or remember taxes. Making it from say transfers of wealth. We were talking about that yesterday. As far as business wise, or personally, making it from say if you have a living will of some kind, or you have power of attorney or something like that. I think you still kind of need a power of attorney even if you have a trust. My understanding is that you have a will. It sits in probate forever. Google it, whatever you gotta do. I'm not sure if it's living or final. My understanding is that if you have a will, it sits in probate forever. Well, I think especially. I'm not sure if it's living or final. I've been asked that numerous occasions. But yeah, they're gonna ask you to have a power of attorney. I think especially if you get necessarily want another person to this power of attorney. But yeah, they're gonna ask you if you have a power of attorney, decision making, a living will, which is like what do you want another person to this power of attorney has power over the decisions or decision making while you are incapacitated, while you cannot make decisions for yourself. Say if you end up with you're going to give a power of attorney of some kind, them the power or your life. It's a really scary brain damage. And you know what I'm saying? Like you can't make a decision for yourself.
I have a
you're going to give a power of attorney, which gives them the power of choice over your life. If you end up having an accident, or that person can make decisions for you.
I have a
you are in a business mindset.
even as I think
if you end up having an accident or something happen, that person can make decisions for you. Now, if you are in a business mindset, even as cannot argue over will, they cannot. You can still have it over any trust
unless
where
they do it
you
personally.
enable specific things to specific people. They cannot argue over will.
Legally,
They cannot cause family feuding over anything unless they do it interpersonally. That's so. But as far as like legally, okay, legally standing, your will. If you put something into a trust, yes, it's the same concept, but so it's left in something in court systems for like it could be years. So your will, and it also has to go. Yes, it's the same concept, but it's left in the court systems like it could be years. In the court system before it all is decided, and it also has to go through the state. It has to go through like checks and stuff like that to make sure nothing was owed to the government before they trust pass all of any kind. You know, business is so. But yeah, if you have it in ever have trust of any kind, your business is kind of negative hit happen. It's responsible, not you. Everything that would ever happen would be underneath the business name. So if some kind of negative hit happened, it's not going to affect you personally. I've actually really highly considered this, and I'm looking forward to doing this in the future. Like I said, as far as like family feuding and stuff like that, but we're not there yet. So specifically, I've actually really highly considered this, and I'm looking forward to doing this in the future. But we're not there yet. So finding out all the information. We're getting this information over the course of the next 6 months to practice time. So in learning and understanding, finding out all the information for getting this information over the course of the next 6 months for getting this very least in learning and understanding what it's like to have the business mindset at the very least. Okay, so we're not like diving deep into business, and not everybody learns in the same time frame. Taking it and right now, not everybody learns the same way, and not everybody learns in the same time frame. So, and right now, I am personally learning this myself over the next 6 months. And y'all, this is coming from no knowledge, and I'm doing this on purpose. In real time. Okay, y'all are like, this is the dumbest way. And this is coming from no knowledge, and I'm doing this on purpose. Okay? Somebody stop. Y'all are like, somebody save this woman. Okay, somebody stop her. Somebody save this woman. Okay, there's the right way, the wrong way, and then there's the right way. This is the way I'm doing it. No, I'm doing this on purpose. Okay, there's the right way, the wrong way, and then there's my way. Okay, and this is the way I'm doing it. So whether you think it's right or wrong. Let me know, because I want to hear about it in the comments. So, whether you think it's right or wrong, let me know, because I want to hear about it in the comments, right? But unschooling our children. So, we are learning by experience here, and this is trial and error. So, survival of the fittest, bitches. So, we are learning by experience here, it really does, and this is trial and error. So, survival of the fittest, bitches. Yeah, no, it really does get down to that point sometimes. And for those of you who have never experienced that, I know you have. For those of you who have experienced that, I'm sorry that you did, but we're going to work our way out of this. Okay, if you're currently experiencing it, please don't be afraid in your area. Reach out to people. So, ask what you gotta do. Don't be afraid. Be not afraid. So, do what you gotta do. And like I said, even if it's to get better, even if you have to make it today. And like I said, even if it's codes, even if you have to make a phone call, slip a note to somebody or something. Even if you have to certain situations, I don't know, DV situations, slip a note to somebody or something. Because there are certain situations where DV situations or
outside laying
other
consequences
situations that have
interfere with someone
you know,
being able to outside laying consequences that
be
could
aware of your
interfere with
surroundings,
someone
so
being
this
able
way
to
you can
communicate.
catch those red flags.
Be aware of your surroundings, so this way you can
code
catch those
words
red flags if someone is trying to give you some
anything
information or
be
code
aware of it.
words or
Not to be like all
like
paranoid
anything
about
like that.
everything, but
Just be aware of it.
be a little bit
Not
more
to be
aware
like
of your
all
surroundings.
paranoid about everything, but
Just
you
never know.
be a little bit more aware of your surroundings. And you never know whose life you might save. So, and you never know whose life you might save. So keep that in mind. So keep that in mind. For those of you who are going back to what I was saying about Prime Days, for those of you who are going back to what I was saying about Prime Days, those of you who have affiliation already, so go check your Prime Days are already listed. So go check your email. eBay, eBay, zero cents. Wednesday. So zero orders can't add items. Item cost. So zero orders can't add items. Don't have any items to add. Item cost times fees plus taxes plus print times fees plus taxes plus print equals cost. Etsy decided to try to throw stuff on there. Etsy decided to try to throw stuff on there. I did get information about discounts and percentages. I don't know how to work that system. I'm not offering free shipping right now because I don't know how to work that system. So,
This ain't free. Keep on seeing this type of learning videos.
I now know who my promo guy is going to be. I now know who my promo guy is going to be. So yeah, actually you can. You can donate to the Forever Home. So yeah, actually you can. You can donate to the Forever Home. There's a link in my About Me section. There's a link in my reminder. This is not an actual LC yet. Reminder. This is not an actual LC yet. Existing Forever Home projects out there. And there are already pre-existing Forever Home projects out there. So, like I said, this is still in the works. Crucial for us to be thinking. Like I said, this next 6 months are really crucial for us to be thinking business mindset because new year. This is what we did for the past year, and this failed. Okay. This is what we did for the past year, and this failed horribly. So let's go the opposite direction. Taking these losses right now in this first year. Taking these losses right now in this first year. So this way we can build first. We can find the weakest points up front. First. Many learning lessons is first year up front. Many learning lessons as you possibly can get. That way you can build knock them out going forward. That way sometimes you have to build from that ground. Sometimes you have to scorch the ground so this way you can that you're standing on. Okay, so this way you can things grow better in after scorched ground. Things grow better in after scorched ground. It's just a fact. So it's just a fact, you know. So fire within you, scorch the past. Let the fire within you, and scorch the past. You have to take with you, and only take with you what you're going to take with you in the future. From this point forward, so you need to take so meantime, until we get there. In the meantime, until we get there, do a room by room inventory because today's house chores. Do a room by room inventory because today's house chores are living. Today for me is heavy. Today for me is curtains. She's trying to move the furniture around. Work it out Wednesday. Today is actually not gym work day. It out Wednesday. Today is actually not gym day. Yeah.
Yeah,
bag prep and plan.
we're gonna Wednesday bag prep and plan. I wrote diet in question mark because I've been about my diet and I don't even have plan about my diet. I don't even have plan. Let's plan that shit. Let's plan that
Meal
shit.
plan.
According to diet plan. Meal plan according to diet plan.
This morning
Shift
I
bag
was
and weigh in.
214.
This morning I was 214. Freaking yaw. Stay and holding. So that 200 mark. If I could break that 200 mark, I'm going to have a freaking celebration. Okay, that's 14 pounds away from but shit hit the fan bag. Very much different than bag prep. Work it out Wednesday. Still so very important to have safety items in your gym bag. We did talk about gym safety, inside and outside of the facility. Inside, unfortunately, in this day and age, there is never a time that there is not an opportunity for shootings, and I think everybody's starting to think Wild West again. I don't know what the hell's going on. So just be aware of your surroundings. Or just aggression in general. So always have something that you can utilize as a safety measure in your bag, on your keychain, maybe like on your purse, or if you have to clip it to you. It's not the greatest choice, but it's there. Keep it in a pocket somewhere. I don't know. Just in case. But also letting people know prior to going, not social media. Close friend. Person. One specific person. Once you go there, all fine and great to make content, but please, unless you're live, don't post it until after you leave there. Going live on vacation is dangerous sometimes. So just be careful. And then, like I said, when you're looking at your phone, you may not be aware of your surroundings. So, especially if you're live. So, you see all these people walking around, they're talking to their phones, like myself, every single day. And we're not paying attention to our surroundings. We have no idea what's going on outside of like 4-foot radius of our peripheral vision. We just don't. So, safety first. Make sure that you have maybe you could have like a cameraman. You know what I mean? Somebody else to pay attention, for you. So.
This feels good in your shoe when you put your foot
Oh, I bet. Is that what I stepped on?
I don't know if it smells
Like a fucking Lego piece. Bastard. Yeah, that shit hurts. that and those nails in that like carpet divider thing. Okay, so room by room inventory. Any curtains in the shift bag, like I said, very different from shit hitting a fan bag, which is your emergency bag, which you will have 2 bags in your vehicle at all times. You will have your vehicle emergency bag, and you'll have your gym bag. So even if for some reason you have to suddenly leave without your bag from the gym, okay? Scary worst case scenarios. You have another safety bag in your vehicle, okay? I do that on purpose, so this way you guys can see that you're covered at all times. Having that knowledge is going to give you like this extra little like, I don't know, vertebrae in your backbone because you got this shit. You know what I mean? So, but not mandatory, but it's always good to have. And when I was talking about as far as like driver's ed on, I think it's Friday or Saturday, we already talked about having an emergency preparation kit or some kind of emergency situation bag in your vehicle anyway. So that's already going to be in there. So even if you don't bring your gym bag. Say you forget it one day, and you're in a situation where you have to have emergency stuff. It's already in your vehicle, or vice versa. You forget the emergency vehicle bag, you got it in your gym bag. So, and yeah, I mean, it does seem like it's a little extra, but I would rather you on the safe make sure that you have a maybe you could have like a cameraman. You know what I mean? Somebody else to pay attention. Is there? So was valid in that point in time. So, is that what I said? A fucking Lego piece. As far as international news, I'm absolutely terrified to turn on the news today. Like they made me so scared to even look at it now, and I don't even want to turn it on. And I know it's like a trust. I get so emotional and like so. It's there for a reason, and that reason was valid in that point in time. Putting pieces together and like point taken. That like I just go into a. As far as international news, I'm absolutely terrified to turn on the news today. So like they made me so scared to even look at it now that I don't even want to turn it on. Like that. I get so emotional and like so caught up in like all these like little other side thoughts, but not putting pieces together and like scary type shit. That like I just go into a whole nother dimension, and I know that so maybe it's me. And like it angers me, and I don't like, but that I mean I like that feeling for like I said, for the fire. But not in a sense of I can't do anything in this. So kind of feeling, you know what I mean. I know that one person keep up with that is yes, it's important to have information. Maybe it's you. Who knows? Yes, it's important to understand this information that you are receiving. Maybe it's all of us. At different points in time in our life, to different story behind what is being shown. Yes, it is your decision whether or not you believe. Trying to keep up with that is also your decision. Yes, it's important to have information of the world around you. Okay. Yes, it's important to understand that this information that you are receiving is only a portion of the true story behind what is being shown. Yes, it is your decision whether or not you believe the shit. It resonates. And it is also your decision as far as what doesn't you do with that information. Okay. So even if you are willing to accept the information that you hear, see, personal experience, it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to take it with you going forward, and what parts of it. Because a lot of the things whatever resonates with your vibe, right? Take it with you. And if it doesn't, you are in need. They want us to buy it for a reason. Because a lot of the things that are happening in the world today, they're pitting us against each other. And we don't need to be against each other. Are in need. We need to be together, united. They want us to divide and conquer thing. I mean, what do you think's going to be next? Communication. See what they're doing. Power. I don't think in power they're pitting us against each other. So we don't need to be against each other. We need to be of their power failure systems when their shit hits the fan. So divide and conquer thing. I mean, what do you think's going to be next? Communication. Power. I don't think the power grid's going out. Especially land, water. Yeah, it was a test of their power failure systems when the shit hits the fan. He said several years ago. So, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a power grab somewhere in all of this. And every other power grab out there. Especially land, water, and next to the air. And that's where we're at. That's my call. CEO of this. Hopefully I'm wrong. But that's my worst case scenario. He said several years ago. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you that there is a very high possibility of a lot of changes happening pretty quickly in America. So whether that's good or bad, we don't know yet. That's my call. With everything hopefully I'm wrong. But that's my worst case scenario that's getting ready to happen. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you that there is a very high possibility of a a lot of changes happening pretty
But,
freaking quickly in America. Like I said, I do see whether that's good or bad, we don't know yet. But with everything going on in the world today, so and business, it's all it is. Possibility, just right? Because everything's infinite. So anything I say doesn't necessarily mean you know what I mean. But so be careful of outrage because it gives. Like I said, I do see a land way for resources that are for stability. So business, that's all it is. We're just numbers, and being aware of things are getting away. You know what I mean? Especially be careful of outrage because it gives right of way in certain areas higher backlash. So whether civility, U.S. or if it's anywhere else, being aware of your surroundings is important. Because anything can happen. Being aware of the things that are happening in the world is important. We are doing, especially if you're traveling. That's where we're going. Or if you're and in certain areas. Next year is the beginning of the construction. Whether it's in the U.S. or if it's anywhere else in the world. Just be careful. Because anything can happen at this point. It's really the tip of the iceberg. We are doing the whole space race because that's where we're going. I was actually and yeah, next year is the to work there of the construction of the space hotel as a representative. If Axiom hasn't already done it, it's kind of cool. Or actually knew the person who got hired for the position with it. He was on my Facebook. And I was like, congratulations, damn it. To work there. Yeah. So as a representative, field the whole point is actually knew the person who got hired for the position. Right. So you're gonna start seeing. He was on my Facebook. And I was like, congratulations, damn it. Videos and getting phone calls from what seemed to be close to you. The whole point is to now look up, right? So you're going to start seeing drones and things. You're going to see for ads in the sky. You're going to start seeing because it was an AI. Videos and getting phone calls from what seemingly to be someone from an AI close to you. It's not. It's an AI. These things are all possibly getting charges. I'm not making this for a crime that you didn't commit. You can Google it or do whatever you because it was an AI. Possibly getting bank fraud or actual user identity fraud from an AI. Possibilities of negative flashback. These things are all happening right now. I'm not making this shit up. And you guys can Google it or do whatever you have to do. But it's real. And the thing is that most of the people who have been aware of what that's a possibility, but I do negative there's a flashback from this are really seeing it in real time a lot faster than AI is the future. So they are fearing that as well as robots, intelligence. Any kind of drone type thing. I don't know what that's going to cause, but I do know that there is a satellites, big race for AI. Anything like that, they're all going to be AI is the future, and so look forward to that. Robots, new land, any kind of drone type thing, ground surveillance type thing, satellites, you'll see that space ventures, anything like that, all going to be included. And so look forward to that. There'll be a lot more new land owned by other countries. Kind of put their hands on just about everything. And you'll see that more in your area. A lot of it will be covered up. Any kind of corporations and free trade that there is by corporations to your local person. I highly suggest this little into that. So, because if we go corporate America kind of put their hands on just about everything, and that gives any kind of free trade that there is left, or free enterprise of any kind. I highly suggest that you hold on to that. Most things are going online. If we go cashless and we're legit, a lot of the industries that used to be very prevalent are getting ready to be shut down. A lot of people are closed door. So there are changes made within the food industry. Most things are going online, and a lot of the industries that used to be very prevalent that are getting ready to be shut down completely. And there will be changes made within the food industry as well as other kind of phone calls that you get, the scams that you get. Companies. There are going to be a lot more now that are going to be more industrialized. The information that you receive as far as news. So a lot of us get the news from TikTok, of the food that you're eating. Right? So be aware of AI has advanced itself so much. There are going to be a lot more recognition of self that right now in this moment it could possibly be scanned. The information that you receive as far as news. A lot of us get the news from TikTok and all these other places, right? Social media. So AI has advanced itself so much as far as recognition of self that right now in this moment it could possibly be scanning my face. This is where the blurred lines of reality come in play as far as a power play for society. So this is why I implore you, be aware continue to that the videos that you see, the news that you see, may not be own mind going forward in this. And this is where the blurred lines of reality come in play as far as a power play for society. And it may take this is why I implore you, please continue to use your imagination. This is just my use your own mind. See going forward in this. It's going to be really hard to decipher. It's in the industry's events that are going to happen. But and it may take time. Things that these things to happen. Now, like I said, these things may never happen. Who knows? This is just my concept of what I see. Like I said, that whole Bible thing was as a collective of the world and the industries and the way that everything is moving around right now. We understand each other and the things that I'm hearing. So now, I may be getting information completely different than you. Who knows? Like I said, that whole Babel thing was the disconnect. This way, we don't understand each other, but we do understand. And you know what I'm saying? We understand each other at a very base DNA level. Take it as you will. We have all collectively experienced one event as a whole. I do still have that dollar bet on Trust Face. We're all on the same page. And you know what I'm saying? You can catch it. So, cash at me. Take it as you will. Whatever resonates, if it don't. So, current events. I do still have that dollar bet on Trust Face in the Sky. Tell you that this next saying. Reading is going to be coming from AP News. So if y'all want to go to the website, cash at me outside with me. So you can see what I'm saying. Yeah, current events and international history. I'm going to go ahead and tell you again. If you guys are getting period of time of whatever I'm reading is going to be coming from website news. So if y'all want to go to the website and check it out, if you guys are getting different information on your website, see what I'm saying. Please let me know. Because if you guys are getting different information on the same website, which is a possibility. My parents always used to say that. Keep that in mind. If you guys are getting different information on your website than I am, please let me know. And show me. Because when you start to learn how to trust yourself, not trusting anything in your life, that's a hard one. My parents always used to say that I was in a show me state. So because I never believed anyone. I never trusted anybody. If you can, please let me know. So. Yeah, when you start to learn how to trust yourself after not trusting anything this information in your whole life, that's a hard one. But AP News, so yes, I do. So if you can, please let me know. So this information that I'm going to talk about is all read off of the AP News. Yes, I do interject. Personal opinion. Yes, that's true. When is the first day of summer? this Friday, the 20th. According to NASA and the Old Farmer's Almanac, this marks the longest day of the year in the northern hemisphere, when the Earth's tilt position is closest to the sun. Summer solstice. You wanted it. That shit was so gross. It was gross. I like Singer. I don't like the food. I know. They baked them. I won't do that. And I'll point to a big pile of meatloaf. Oh, and like, I don't even want to get into the war drones thing. Okay. Alright, so for International History Day, and current events, I don't know if that's actually true or not. I think that they would have announced that now. They did, but I think it's kind of like a silent war. I don't know how to describe this. I don't know. This is a really difficult situation. If you don't know or if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Israel Hamas. Okay, so I'm on AP News, first page, World, clicking down the first section. Israel Hamas war is the top listing for that part. Look. She sent this to him. She sent it to him. My computer's like, nope. No, I can't handle ads. I can't handle it from website. What are you talking about? The website's got so many freaking pop-ups. Advertisements everywhere. Like I said, AP News is not me. So, in the Israel-Hamas war, 34 killed in the deadliest day of shootings near Gaza's new food distribution centers, authorities say. Airports closed across the Mideast as Israel-Iran conflict shutters the region's airspace as of yesterday. And in this Israeli city hit by an Iranian missile, many people still support the military's operation as of June 16th. Israel warns 300,000 people in Tehran to evacuate as Trump issues ominous message as of June 16th. It was 2 days ago, so this is a little behind. We need to get updated here. There's a lot of information that's happened between the last 2 days, okay? A lot. And that's another thing, too, you guys will start getting a lot more information faster, and it will be contradictory. So you're going to have to make your own decisions in all of this very quickly, and that's why I'm saying for you guys to hold the moment and pivot. Be able to pivot through this because we're about to go fucking asteroid field of bullshit. It's going to come towards us in information. At least from more coverage as of yesterday, at least 51 waiting for aid trucks in Gaza. Iranians seek temporary refuge in neighboring Turkey as the conflict with Israel escalates. Israel condemns partition walls around its pavilions and prepares the air show. Egypt blocks activists aiming to march to Gaza to draw attention to humanitarian crisis. Israeli says it declares 6 more activists detaining Gaza aid group. That was the one that Trump's travel ban fuels despair. Discuss with politics among Arab Americans. Travel ban fuels despair and discuss with politics among Arab Americans in Michigan. Over 55,000 Palestinians have been killed in the Israel-Hamas war so far, Gaza health officials say. Over 55,000 Palestinians have been killed in the Israel-Hamas war. Convoy arrives in Libya and Russia, Gaza, China, as of humanitarian aid. I remember saying something like that last time. So, convoy arrives in Libya and route to Gaza. Well, they have to halt aid on humanitarian aid. I remember saying last time. So, well, they have to Russian Ukraine war. So, 3 days. Trump says he's not looking for a fight with Iran, but stands Russian Ukraine war. Iran's leader rejects call to surrender, saying U.S. intervention would cause irreparable damage. As Israeli Trump says he's not in any war with Iran, but stands ready to It's like you're a terrorist. You're telling them the news. It's like you're a terrorist. You're telling them the news. It's like you're blocked. You're banned. I keep clicking on it. It doesn't do anything. It just goes right back to the same page. Unless they're updating it. I keep clicking on it, which could be true. It just goes right back to the same page. Unless they're updating 4 minutes ago, that's what it is. Which could be true. Fear talk. Stocks to rise, Israel bombard shelters full of 4 days ago. That's what Trump said. That's what I'm saying about the communication cutoff. It's not just it's like a Trojan horse. Okay? So it's not just one area. It's not just one country. That's what I'm saying about the communication cutoff. And it's not just it's like a Trojan horse. There's another. So it's not just one area. It's not just one country. It's not country. This is multiple countries that this is going to happen. And it's not from each other. There's another part to it that it is not really unresponsive. This is the first time this has ever happened. Known yet. So, it is like really unresponsive. This is the first time this has ever happened. Russian Ukraine war. Chinese rescuers find more bodies as death toll from latest Russian aerial attack climbs to 28. Photos of a combined Russian missile and drone attack on Kyiv overnight Tuesday. Russian Ukraine drone attack. Drone and missile attack. Tuesday. This is a real time. Chinese rescuers find more bodies as of yesterday. Overnight Russian attacks in Ukraine killed 15 and
Photos of a combined Russian missile and drone attack in Kyiv overnight Tuesday. Drone attack. Drone and missile attack. Wins non-military backing from Austria. This is real time. Day before a visit to As of yesterday, overnight Russian attacks in Ukraine killed 15 and injured 150 citizens. Region needs at least one dead and 13 injured. Ukraine's Zelensky wins military backing from Ukraine repatriates more bodies of fallen soldiers in line with an agreement with Russia. Russia's military casualties top 1 million in a 3-year war. Okay. Do you have anything else? Yeah. You might get past some challenge. Serbia's Moscow-friendly president visits Ukraine but refuses to sign anti-Russian declaration as of June 11. China. China. Beware that all wires are out there still. Beware that all wires are out there still. That little paragraph was kind of stuck China. Leadership deals being pursued to turn the Chinese scientists in the U.S. fungus. Remember I was talking about mushroom could actually kill all of us. They probably will end up Americans turn cautious in retail sales slide after spring rush to beat Taiwan is the leader and needs to be very aware that a certain industry and needs to be very aware that there are two main components of this. There's a race, very interested for supremacy, and there are two main components of this. They're very interested in being one. So there is supply and demand, and that is what Taro Fleet just basically sold into. So Taro fall from within. Basically, these countries have nuclear weapons or are believed to have them. Why is it only showing this stupid stuff? Britain's M16 spy agency gets its first female chief. Let's see. These countries have nuclear weapons or are believed to have them as officially listed. Britain's M16 agency, spy agency, which is its first female chief. Relation Officer Dan Loomis talks about the first female chief of the Systems Agency and Judy Dench's developments as M. and James allies brace for Trump's unpredictability as he steps back onto global stage for G7 and NATO summits. Reports of fan arrested after alleged trespass attempts at BTS star scientists from Minister in Delaware charged with brain damage. Thus, as the fireworks factory in central China killed people, allies brace for Trump's unpredictable. Britain's M16 spy agency
agency with its chief. Taiwan adds China's highway SMIC export control list. Okay, be very aware of what's going on right now. Okay, be very aware of what's going on right now. Taiwan is very weird. I'm pretty sure there's a name on Taiwan is very and like I said, there's new resources. And like I said, yeah, it'll be beneficial. Still, it's just like I feel like we're in the. Like I was saying, I legit feel like we're in by and large era of like we're right at that breaking point of now. Like we're right at that breaking point of now. We don't have so much. Like you can't go back now. We don't have so much. Like you can't go back now. Robots to replant trees. Like even if you could get AI robots to replant trees, and even then, 5 years, you're not going to have natives. So somewhere you're just replanting. And even then, you're not going to have natives. Like mixing up the Rubik's cube. You're just replanting. You're just it's weird. Like mixing up the Rubik's cube. Consumer sentiment rises. It's weird. Remains tame. Sweden and the Netherlands say before NATO summit that they will spend 5% of GDP on defense. Consumer sentiment rises for the first time this year as inflation remains tame. Sweden and the Netherlands say before NATO national security authorities they will spend 5% of GDP on defense. Yeah, I would too. There's always crazy shit going on. Export permits after U.S. trade talks offer relief, but uncertainty persists. China and Hong Kong national security authorities launch first publicly known joint operation. We better not. China grants rare earth export permits after U.S. trade talks offer relief, but uncertainty persists. Damn. In this moment, we better not. Well, we already have. Okay, so China grants rare earth export permits trade talks. Look at the pathway for that. They've already pretty much on us since the 50s, since the war. So and plus we keep buying rare earths, right? So yeah, they want us. And no doubt that they're going to raise. Okay, so China grants rare earth export permits after U.S. trade talks. Look at the pathway for that. They've already pretty much on us since the 50s, since the war. So and plus we keep buying from them. So yeah, they own us. And no doubt that they're going to raise because they own us. So they're going to keep it going. Measly little, seriously, breadcrumbs from whatever they have to Wow. There's the fall vampire right there. It kills off all that stuff because animals are into cancer every year. 5G, 6G shit. Keep it going is because I'm a land grab out here. And nobody even seems to care that sewer sites are filling. Let's see what people are doing to it because I'm not doing this. It kills off all that stuff because animals are into cancer every year. 5G, 6G shit goes straight to your brain. And nobody even seems to care. They just want faster phone. That's it. No one else to it. Right now, that's what. I don't care if they add more or some more to more studies. Some people remember, right? I don't care what they eat. I don't care what they drink. They don't know what they're doing today, right? Hello. Oh, date. Trump administration used to sit. Biden administration. So boundary waters is. Some people remember, right? Trump administration used to live by mining injections near boundary waters and waters. See if it's even toxic. I mean, see if it's even toxic. I'm not joking. Like, watch the sediment. It's like $10 for water. Pour your water into like a coffee filter. if it's even toxic. If you don't already have filtered water. I mean, to see if it's even toxic. I'm not joking. Like, watch the sediment level.
Change the filter.
Pour your water into like the water filter, like coffee filter. If you don't already have filtered water, and if you do filtered water, go look at filters. Innovation takes it back. Can you afford to change the filters? Japan and China trade blame over Chinese innovation takes a backseat at small companies as tariffs become minerals. Japan and China trade blame over Chinese fighter jets flying close to Japanese planes. Yeah, I bet. Tops theories, critical minerals gave China an edge in trade. That's all I gotta do. Just, I bet. They're like, shut up. That's all I gotta do. Just shut up. Timeline of the U.S.-China tariff and trade since President Trump fighting sphere. Two Chinese aircraft carriers are timeline of U.S.-China tariff and trade talks since President Trump. Two Chinese aircraft carriers are operating in the Pacific together for the first time. Trump plus federal appeals ruling on names first Chinese bishop is continuing Vatican's conflict. Names first Chinese bishop is continuing Vatican. So June 11th is last one. Asia Pacific. You okay, baby? Air India faces disruptions as crash prompts deeper checks and flight delays. Air India faces disruptions as crash prompts deeper checks and flight delays. And this is in volcanic eruption in Indonesia. Look at soaring evacuations, border tensions between Cambodia and Thailand as of 2 hours ago. India and Canada to restore volcanic eruption in Indonesia forces evacuations. Cancellations. I don't know how to say that word. SIKH. Indonesian police detained 3 Australian men suspected of killing a fellow national while river overflows in southern China, stranding people into streets and to send military construction workers and deminers. North Korea plans to send military construction miners to Russia. Plans to send military construction North Korea miners to Russia. Plans to send military construction workers and miners to Russia. India crash that killed 270 people. South Korea ratifies black box animals party internet causing Air India crash that killed 270 people. Trump will sign an order extending the deadline for TikTok Chinese owner to sell apples. England picks England at number 3 ahead of Bethel for first test in the Senate. India aims to end 18-year Syria drought in England. India aims to end 18-year Syria drought in England. Japan record trade deficit as exports suffer from Trump's tariff. Okay, this is export stuff. PGA Tour has Japan record trade deficit as exports suffer from Trump's tariffs. Champions as of yesterday. Trump PGA Tour has its last signature event. Majors will avoid travel ban. PGA and PGA
Lawyers say plea deal is being pursued for Chinese scientists. Trump administration demands action in this case. From 36
now they say it's a scientist. They didn't say that it was a scientist earlier. They just said it was a person from
deal
China.
is being pursued for Chinese.
See what I'm saying about like
charged
the
in toxic
misinformation.
fungus case.
Now they say it's a
One
scientist.
word
They didn't say that the whole paragraph. The scientist earlier. They just said it was a, like I was saying earlier. They didn't say it was a scientist. They said it was just. See what I'm saying about like that brought misinformation to the United States. A little bit. They didn't say one word can change the whole paragraph. Questionable about saying the whole vibe. Case, so maybe. But like I was saying earlier, they didn't say it was a scientist. They said it was they had the right to hold just someone from China that brought toxic fungus into the United States. They didn't say it was a scientist.
Americans
questionable about
slide after a spring
traveling case
eruption of
maybe,
Indonesia's
but I'm pretty sure they had the right to hold things.
These countries have Americans nuclear systems slide after a spring reached the terrace. Eruption of Indonesia's Mount foreigners and alleging 1.2 million investments.
Volcano creates ash plume visible 90 miles away.
Indonesian coal industry risking a tough transition as demand declines.
These countries have nuclear weapons earlier.
Thai police arrest 13 foreigners in alleging $1.2 million investment scam targeting Australians. Indian Cyprus to step up defense.
Indonesian coal industry
risking a tough transition as demand declines. Cambodia threatens Thai fruits ban as tensions over border disputes continue to soar. India and Cyprus to step up defense, maritime, and cybersecurity cooperation. Bridge collapse at an Indian tourist site close to enters territory. Cambodia threatens Thai fruits ban as tensions over border disputes continue to soar. Taiwan is, China's Hawaii and SMLC to export. Bridge collapse at an Indian tourist site close to enters territory. Taiwan is, China's Hawaii and SMLC to export controls.
And this is area. So, moving to the next section. Okay. America. Argentines welcome healthcare cutbacks as President Milei's state overhaul mirrors Trump's.
Takeaways from AP report on President Javier Milei.
Argentines welcome healthcare cutbacks as President Milei's state overhaul mirrors Trump's.
Photos of Argentines affected by
Takeaways from Hurricane Eric strengthens to Category 2 storm as it nears Mexico's Pacific coast as of 7 minutes ago. Here's why Hurricane Eric is quickly strengthening into a dangerous storm as of 20 minutes ago. Neza's Spanish Dodger Stadium next 8 immigrant support. U.S. sanctions leadership of Mexico's Jalisco cartel. Tohei Cactus Lions in tour opener against Argentina as Herald delivers positive injury news. Religious leaders prison say their experience only strengthens Inter Milan against their fate. 1-1 draw by Monterrey. Inter Milan held World Cup 1-1 draw by Monterrey. Colombia's Senate World Cup labor bill that would mean more pay and protection for workers. Colombia's Senate's approved labor bill that would mean more pay and protection for workers. For derogatory Spire Motorsports punishes Carson, Texas stops providing new funding for border wall construction for derogatory comments about Mexico City. Cuban diplomat defends Texas stops providing under pressure for border wall construction as of yesterday. Another mayor is killed in Mexico this time. Cuban diplomat defends foreign medical missions under pressure from U.S. as of yesterday. First face-to-face, another mayor is killed in Mexico this time. Trump administration demands action. Spanish language journalists documents immigration. First face-to-face between after protest arrests. Leaders of U.S. and Mexico will have to wait. Argentine ex-president Cristina Fernandez de Trump administration demands action to serve corruption sentence. Spanish language journalist who documents immigration raised to off in several Amazon oil sites despite environmentalists and indigenous protests. Argentine ex-president Cristina Fernandez auctioned off several Amazon oil sites, corruption sites, environmentalist and indigenous protests. Brazil auctioned 15 hours off several Amazon oil sites despite environmentalists and indigenous protests. Brazil auctioned off several Amazon oil sites despite environmentalist and indigenous protests as of 15 hours ago. These are key points that we're looking at here because they're all interconnected. Baby? Okay. You alright? In world news, this is the main point of Putin is set to take questions from international journalists. Putin is set to take questions from sidelines from international journalists. At the sidelines of St. Petersburg International. Kyiv rescuers find more bodies of multiple lives from various Russian aerial attack claims to 28. Kyiv rescuers find more bodies of multiple lives from various Russian aerial aggression against Europe as claims to 28. EU's top diplomat warns that Russia has a plan for long-term aggression. EU's top diplomat warns against Europe has a plan for long-term aggression against Europe. Police say a German man engaged. EU's top diplomat warns of U.S. team to as of an hour ago. Princess of Wales calls for engagement as EU summons Russia envoy over attack of diplomat in Vladivostok. Czech coalition government survives no confidence vote. Czech coalition government survives no confidence vote. UK inflation eases by less than anticipated ahead of bank. UK inflation eases by less than anticipated. Family of British team ahead of bank crash involving U.S. driver received police apology after. Family of British team killed in crash involving U.S. driver received fans of Irish apology after kneecaps around a London court as rapper Mo Chara faces a terror-related charge. Fans of Irish band kneecaps around a London court as rapper Mo Chara faces a terror-related charge. India and Cyprus look to step the first artificial solar eclipses created by 2 European satellites. UN nuclear agency warns of possible contamination inside India and Cyprus to step up defense after Israeli maritime and cybersecurity operations. UN nuclear agency warns
Nuclear site? No.
possible contamination inside Iran.
Toxic.
Natanz Iran's site after Israeli strikes. The world's most visited museum shuts down with staff sounding the alarm of mass tourism. The
Nuclear site? No.
They shut down. Really? It's the world's most visited museum. Understaffed. The world's most visited museum shuts down with staff sounding the alarm on mass tourism. They should get people to stop coming. It's the world's most visited museum. Ukraine Zelensky wins non-military backing from Austria. Day before he visits understaffed. Gathering. Huge turnout at a second inhumane conditions. Action against mad. So Macron visits Greenland to show European get people to stop coming. Arctic island coveted. There's so many. As Ukraine Zelensky wins non-military backing from Austria. Day before he visits intimidating. Huge turnout. Finland accuses senior protest seeking government action against Israel. Macron visits Greenland to show European support for the strategic Arctic island. One area over there. As Trump goes to the G7 summit, other world leaders aim to show that they're not intimidated. Finland accused senior crew of Russia invested in area undersea power cable in Baltic Sea. It's in the middle of that. So. Remember I was telling you guys about that one. I don't know how that is going to affect things in the vicinity of what's going on right now. There's a lot of wars going on over there. And the traffic through this one area of waterway is in the middle of that. So, U.S. military. I don't know how that is going to affect things going forward with other countries. But it just seems a little too specific. U.S. military parade sentiment rises for the first time this year as inflation is maintained. U.S.-backed Israel comes to target spyware used to target European journalists. European court rules Italy not liable for reviewing Coast Guard actions. Italy not liable for reviewing Coast Guard actions in 2017. 3 suspects detained in Poland on suspicion of planning far-right attack. UN Refugee Agency says more than 120 forcibly displaced worldwide. 122 million people. 122 million people. Again, this information that you're getting from me right now. Take your head again. This information, whether you believe the numbers or you believe right now, they're saying or not. When you take your head like I'm just getting you believe the numbers or do you believe what they're saying or not? That's on you. I'm just getting you very clear what they're talking about. Science experiment. And I said if your information is very different, please let me know. I'm running science experiment. You okay? Okay. You okay? Okay. In Africa, firms led by U.S. military veterans deliver aid in Africa and Gaza, alarming humanitarian groups. Father of a man shot during the latest protests in Kenya calls for police accountability. In Africa, a man was led by a U.S. officer during protests deliver aid in Africa. Alarming humanitarian groups. At close range during father of a man shot during the latest protest as of yesterday. Kenya calls for police accountability. Death toll from an attack by gunmen in north central Nigeria. Police capture a shooting of a man by a Kenyan police officer during the June protests against police brutality. Kenyan police shoot protester at close range. Bitcoin is introduced into Africa's largest slum with risks and rewards. Teacher in Nigeria loses attack by gunmen in north central Nigeria. Reaches 150 civilian casualties amount as of June South Sudan as army clashes with local militias. Africa Pulse. Bitcoin is introduced into Africa's largest slum with risks to no affordable alternative. A new natural gas project off Senegal makes fishing communities feel threatened. That was interesting. U.S. aid kept many hungry Somalis and another one was disappearing. I remember reading that. Live and another one was disappearing. I remember reading that. That was May 27th. Is everything. I don't really want to go into like U.S. local news. I really want to go into like U.S. local news. I don't have much to say. I can right now in my everyday life that it's kind of like putting no choice but to see it. In U.S. news, Karen Reed found not guilty of second-degree murder, guilty of drunken driving and boyfriend's death as of a moment ago. Man charged with killing prominent in U.S. news. For Minnesota. Karen Reed found not guilty of U.S. regime guilty of drunken driving and demands access to social death as of a moment ago. FDA approves the rule. Man charged with killing prominent lawmaker could face HIV severity for Minnesota. NTSB urges quick fix on some clean U.S. regime visas for foreign students, but demands access to social media. New York City mayoral candidate Brad FDA is arrested at the world's twice a year shot to prevent HIV. NTSB urges quick fix on clean and concern that smoke from fallen citizens after a bird strike. Protester shot and killed at No Kings Road in Utah. New York City mayoral candidate Brad Lander is arrested at immigration court linking him to the man detained at DHS press conference. Spanish language journal documents immigration raids detained for ICE after protest arrest. Immigration protester shot and killed at No Kings Road in Utah. Allowing in-state tuition for undocumented students. Recounting California political at DHS press conference. Official stop using Medicaid data. Spanish language journalist immigration. Justice Department challenges continue with arrest. Allowing in-state tuition for undocumented students. California senators demand Trump immigration officials stop using Medicaid data. Spanish language journalists who document immigration raids detained for ICE after protest arrests. New York City mayoral candidate Brad Lander arrested at immigration Pacific Coast. Expect weather from a hurricane as here's where Hurricane Eric could be strengthened into a dangerous storm. Planetary waves linked. You need to know about the heat dome hitting the United States. Tropical storm Eric off Mexico's Pacific coast expected to become a hurricane as of Wednesday, even in states where abortion is legal. Planetary waves linked to wild summer weather have tripled since 1950. Louisiana's 2025 laws clinics are closing even in states where abortion is legal. Friends say Minnesota shooting suspect was deeply religious and conservative. Louisiana's 2025 legislative session ends with governors saying LGBTQ plus Portland's Pink Pony Prom. Illinois officials investigate license plate data shared with police seeking women who had of drag queens preparing to attend Les Miserables at LGBTQ plus Portland's Pink Pony Prom celebrates Southern Baptist community in photos. Photos of drag queens preparing to attend Les Miserables at Kennedy Center despite Trump. Southern Baptist delegates at national meeting overwhelmingly called for banning same-sex marriage. Foundation of Judge blocks administration from enforcing anti-diversity and anti-transgender executive orders. Montana Governor Vito's archaeologists unearthed foundation of 1760 schoolhouse for black children as of 5 minutes ago. Montana Governor Vito's community solar bill as of 20 minutes ago. NTSB says rooming lights at night have helped in clogging San Diego crash. Hadn't worked since 2022. NTSB says runway lights at night have helped in clogging San Diego crash. Hadn't worked since 2022. Texas man Senate Republicans hold hearing on Biden's mental fitness as Democrats protest. Texas man charged with planning to use fireworks against officers during LA protests. Lawmakers on photos of downtown Los Angeles after mayor lifts curfew imposed during ICE arrests 84 people at Louisiana racetrack. Federal judge to deny Trump administration's motion to dismiss lawsuit over block on wind. And Neza's Spanish anthem at Dodger Stadium. Ignites a debate over teen immigration. Cadence, here. Oh yeah, and Raven says cadence. So. Okay. This looks like green screen. What? Purple wobbly head. I don't know what that was about. Alright. Okay. I don't know what that was about. Alright. Okay. So, yeah, because I don't want to go into this. What is it? Yeah, because I don't want to go into this stuff. Okay, there's international history and current events. So that pretty much covers everything. Because like I said, I did not just international, but I also did business too. So okay. I keep asking that. So multi-posting in the afternoon, fixing clips in the evening, multi-streaming in the afternoon, fixing clips in the evening, at night, or whatever. Make sure to be ready for the day in the morning, or whatever. Basically, get ahead of yourself. Schedule points. Basically, get ahead of yourself. Going backwards to get all the steps to this while we're in to go forward. So looking at kind of going backwards to go forward, taking 2 steps back. So, but that giant leap for mankind. So, but keep on keeping it going. Do from here going forward. It's just gonna be. And that's pretty much it for today. I actually said anything that we do self-care tonight, just because I wash day. I already did self-care. What did I do? Wash day. I actually did one. So tomorrow is Territory Thursday. I did pull forward in the calendar self-care tonight. Like I said, wash day. What you I do. So you have to. That way, I had. And that's another thing too. Tomorrow is Territory Thursday. I did pull forward in the calendar. Pull your stuff forward. You can make sure calendar. Being true to yourself is a very important one. So that way I had certain things tomorrow. And that's another thing too. The reason for the PDF and the planner is whatever you can utilize. So you guys can keep up with me. You can pull your stuff forward. You can make sure that you're triggered by what I say. Ask yourself. Being true to yourself is a very important one. So